And I want to ask you, how long should you take, let's say Epidolon. I know it's studied, the treatment course is 15 days, twice a year, right? That's the common regimen. How would you dose this peptides?
The way to use bioregulators varies from person to person based on their goals, right? So let's say you have a 30 or 35-year-old person that comes to you and says, look, I want to get started on my longevity plan. And so in that case, you might say, yeah, you know what, let's look at Epidolon. We'll do 2 cycles a year. If you're using the oral, you might do 30 days of the oral bioregulator once or twice a year. You have a 50-year-old that comes in and you might do their telomere testing and find out that their telomeres are really quite short for someone their age. Well, what you might do then is you might start with a 30-day course of that Epidolon, and then you might pulse it 10 days a month for another 3 to 6 months after that. And typically the bioregulators are used in stacks or in groups. They're rarely used on their own. So you'll always see like groups of bioregulators, and they kind of make sense, right? If you have someone who, they've got cortisol issues or whatever the case may be, and you're like, oh, those adrenal glands, they probably could use some help. You're going to support the adrenals, but you're probably also going to support the thyroid gland, because the thyroid's probably dragging its butt at the same time. And so, to me, what I like to do is I like to help people to think about what are all the systems. And this is where physicians really shine, because because physicians understand, oh, you've got a bone density issue. Well, we're going to look at parathyroid, because there's a parathyroid bioregulator. We're going to look at the kidneys too, because kidneys have some, if the kidneys are compromised and the mineral balance in the body is off, and then there's the cartilage. So you kind of sit there and you start to think about, what are all the different, and this is the invitation, is to think about the body as a whole, right? And not to just say, oh, the heart needs help, we're going to do the heart bioregulator. We're going to think about the whole system and where we can bring assistance to it. So, you asked about the cycles. So it really depends, number one, if you're doing this preventatively, like the person has no issues, and you're just saying, we're getting started early on our longevity plan, so we might do 1 or 2 cycles a year. Or if we have a person in front of us who really has some imbalances, and so now we're going to say, okay, we might start with a 30 or 20 day, let's say, loading period, and then we might do 10 days a month for a period of time, while we're also supporting that issue in all the other